Welcome back to Englopod, the podcast where you build confidence and shape your future.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we are doing something a little different. Usually, we talk about, big ideas or complex topics. But today, we're going to look at a life story.
It is a simple story, but it's very powerful. It's the story of how one man introduces himself to the world.
Yeah.
And, introducing yourself is actually quite difficult.
It really is. It's not just saying, hello, my name is John.
Right. That's the easy part.
Yeah. But telling someone who you are, where you come from, what your family is like, that's an art form.
Exactly. It's your personal history. So our mission today is to analyze a text from a narrator who does this, well, just perfectly.
Okay.
We're going to look at the words he chooses to tell his story. We want to understand the phrases native speakers use to describe their origins, their families, and their education.
And just a quick note for everyone listening, we're going to take this slowly.
Very slowly.
We want to speak very clearly. Our goal is for you to catch every single detail, every feeling in this story.
We want you to feel comfortable with these words. So let's just relax and dive in.
Okay, so the narrator starts with a phrase that I think is perfect. He says, "Let me tell you a little about myself."
It's such a polite, gentle way to begin, isn't it? He isn't forcing his story on you. He's inviting you to listen.
Let me tell you a little about myself. It's like a signal.
A signal that we're moving from just hello to something, a little deeper.
And the first thing he does is he tells us where he is from. He says he's from Minnesota.
Minnesota. For those who don't know the United States map very well, Minnesota is in the north central part of the country. It's right next to Canada.
So we can assume it's cold.
Very cold.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of snow. It's known for having very friendly people, but very harsh winters. And specifically, he's from a city called St. Paul.
Now, here is the phrase that really matters. He describes his connection to St. Paul by saying, "I was born and raised in Minnesota."
Born and raised. This is such a classic phrase. You will hear this all the time. It implies a really deep connection to a place.
Let's pull those two words apart, though. Born and raised. Why do we need both?
Well, born is just a biological fact. It's the location of the hospital where you entered the world.
It's a single moment.
Exactly. Just a single moment in time.
Right. I could be born in London while my parents were on vacation, but that doesn't really mean I'm from London.
Exactly. And that is why raised is the more important word. Raised describes the process of growing up. It's the years of your childhood.
The place where you went to school, learned to ride a bike.
Yes, where your parents took care of you.
So when you say born and raised, you're saying I am 100% from this place. I didn't just appear there. I grew up there.
Yes, it suggests stability. But, people in the United States move around a lot. So sometimes you hear a different version. You might hear, I was born in St. Paul, but I was raised in New York.
That is a crucial distinction. The place I was raised is usually the answer that explains my personality, my accent.
Your culture. Precisely. And there's a synonym for raised. That's also very common. It's a phrasal verb. You can say, I was brought up in New York.
Brought up. That's a good one. It means the same thing.
Exactly the same thing. I was raised in St. Paul and I was brought up in St. Paul. They both refer to the care and education you received as a child.
Now, the narrator uses another strong word to identify himself. He says he is a native of St. Paul.
Native. This is a noun here, a native. It means a person who was born in a specific place.
We often hear native speaker when we're learning languages.
Right. A native speaker is someone who spoke the language from birth. But here, he's a native of a city. You can be a native of St. Paul, a native of Minnesota, or a native of the United States.
It just confirms that he's a local. He isn't a visitor. He belongs there.
It connects back to that idea of roots. He is grounded in this place.
Okay, so we have the geography. We know where he stands. Now let's look at the people standing around him. His family. And honestly, this part shocked me.
It's very unusual these days.
He has a massive family. He says he has 8 brothers and 2 sisters.
That's 10 brothers and sisters.
Can you imagine the house in the morning fighting for the bathroom? The noise.
It would be chaos. I mean, organized chaos, hopefully.
And he tells us his specific position in this lineup. He is the 11th child. The last one.
Being the last one is a special position. It comes with its own title. He says, I am the baby of the family.
Now, we need to be careful with this word baby.
Yes.
Because obviously, he's a grown man telling this story. He has a job. He pays taxes.
Right. He is not drinking milk from a bottle. In this context, baby has nothing to do with age. It has to do with relative position.
So you can be 50 years old and still be the baby.
Absolutely. If you are the youngest person in your sibling group, you are the baby of the family forever, even when you are 80 years old.
It's a role that sticks with you. And speaking of brothers and sisters, there's a very useful word here. He talks about his brothers and sisters, but we can group them together with one word. Siblings.
Siblings. It's a great word. And it's gender neutral.
It's so much more efficient. Instead of saying, I have 8 brothers and 2 sisters, I can just say, I have 10 siblings.
Yes, it's a bit more formal, maybe, but we use it all the time in conversation. Do you have any siblings? It's a very standard question.
Now let's go back to him being the baby of the family. There's a very strong stereotype about the baby, isn't there?
Oh, yes. The stereotype is that the youngest child gets everything they want. The parents are tired, so they just say yes to everything.
And we have a word for that. Spoiled.
Spoiled. To be spoiled. For a person, it means your character is, well, it's ruined because you got too many gifts, too much attention.
And you never had to work for anything.
Right. But the narrator is very quick to defend himself. He says, I swear I wasn't spoiled.
He wants us to know that even though he was the baby, he didn't get special treatment.
I mean, with 10 other kids, it would be hard to be spoiled.
Yeah, there probably wasn't enough money to spoil anyone.
That is a good point. And that leads us directly into his description of his childhood. He paints a picture of his life in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood. That's a nice warm word. It's not just a street. It implies a community, right?
Yes. A neighborhood is the area where you live, where you know the people next door. He says he had a happy childhood in this neighborhood.
Childhood. So that's the noun for that time period. From being a baby up until you're a teenager.
But listen to how he qualifies it. He doesn't just say, I had a happy childhood. He says, I had a happy childhood for the most part.
For the most part. I love this phrase. It feels very honest.
It is a very useful phrase. It means mainly, or usually, or in the majority of cases.
It admits that things weren't perfect all the time.
Exactly. If I say, I like my job for the most part, I'm saying that maybe 90% of the time it's good, but there are some bad days.
So his childhood wasn't perfect. He mentions the financial situation. His parents didn't have a lot of money.
No, they worked hard, but this is where he uses a very important word. He says, despite the lack of money, the children never felt deprived.
Deprived? That sounds serious.
It is. To be deprived means to not have the essential things you need for a good life.
Like food or clothing or safety.
Or even love and support. If you are deprived, you are suffering because you lack something important.
So he's saying, we were poor, But we were not deprived. We had what mattered.
It's a very grateful perspective. He really appreciates what his parents provided.
Let's move on to his personality. He was the 11th child, but he was different from the others.
Yes. He mentions that his brothers were into sports, athletes, but he was not.
He was the quiet one. He preferred reading and listening to music.
It's funny how that happens in families. Same parents, same house, but completely different interests.
So he talks about his early education. He went to grade school near his house. Now, grade school might be a confusing term for some people.
It can be. In the United States, we have so different names. Grade school is a common term for the first school you go to.
We also call it elementary school, right?
Yes. Elementary school is probably the most official term. Grade school is a bit more casual. It covers ages from about 5 up to maybe 10 or 11 years old.
And sometimes you might hear older people say grammar school.
That's true. Grammar school is an older term. But today, grade school or elementary school is what you'll hear most.
So he finishes grade school and then he goes to high school.
High school in the U.S. is typically grades 9 through 12. Teenagers.
And after high school, things get interesting. His journey takes a turn. He says, I went on to the University of Minnesota.
Went on to. That's a nice phrasal verb. It means to proceed to the next stage. He finished high school and he went on to university.
He was studying for his bachelor's degree.
A bachelor's degree. This is the standard university degree. In the U.S., it's designed to take 4 years.
Designed to take 4 years.
Oh.
But did it take him 4 years?
No. And this is my favorite part of the story because it's so relatable. It took him 6 years.
6 years for a 4-year degree. Why? Was he failing?
No, not failing. He says it took him time to learn the ropes.
To learn the ropes. That's such a vivid image. Where does that come from?
Well, originally it comes from sailing. On a big sailing ship, there are hundreds of ropes. A new sailor has to learn which rope does what. It's complicated.
So learning the ropes means learning how a system works.
Exactly. We use it for any new job or complex situation. When you start a new job, it might take you a month to learn the ropes. You have to learn the software, the rules.
Who to talk to.
Right. So he was a young guy from this huge family, maybe the first one to go to this big university. He felt lost. He had to learn the system.
He was navigating a new world. And he uses a phrase to defend himself. A phrase that I think everyone should memorize.
Yes.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. It's a classic idiom.
It means exactly what it says. It's better to arrive late or finish late than to never do it at all.
It's an expression of forgiveness. It says, don't worry about the speed, just worry about the result.
I think a lot of people feel pressure to do things fast.
Yes. And this phrase pushes back against that pressure. He got his degree. He succeeded. The fact that it took 6 years instead of 4, well, that doesn't make the degree less valuable.
So he finally gets that bachelor's degree. You would think he'd be tired of school after 6 years.
You would think so. But this is the irony of his story. The boy who was slow at university turns into a man who cannot stop studying.
What did he do next?
He went to Mexico to teach English and study Spanish. Then he came back to the U.S. and decided he wanted to be a teacher. So he went back to school for a master's degree.
Okay, let's clarify. A bachelor's is the first one. What is a master's?
A master's degree is the next level up. It's a graduate degree, more specialized, and it usually takes another 1 or 2 years.
So now he has 8 years of university education.
Correct. But he isn't done yet.
You are killing me.
In 1991, he moves. He leaves the cold of Minnesota for the sunshine of Los Angeles, California. He gets a job there, but he decides to go back to school again.
What's left? He has a bachelor's, he has a master's.
There is one level higher, the PhD.
The doctorate.
Yes. PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy. This is the highest level of education you can get. It is incredibly difficult. It takes anywhere from 4 to 7 more years to finish.
So let's do the math. 6 years plus 2 years plus, let's say, 4 years. That is 12 years of university.
It is a lifetime of school. And he jokes about this. He calls himself a professional student.
A professional student. That is a funny term, like a job title.
It's a bit of a joke, yeah. A professional student is someone who stays in university for a long, long time because they just love learning.
Or maybe they want to avoid the real world.
Or that. But in his case, I think it was a love of learning. He eventually finished the PhD, and now he works at a research organization.
Research? That connects directly to the PhD.
Yes. Research is the disciplined scientific study of something. You're trying to discover new facts. So he took all that education and turned it into his career.
It's quite a journey. From the baby of the family in St. Paul to a researcher in Los Angeles.
And he adds one final detail about his personal life. He says he is happily married.
Happily married. I notice people often say those two words together.
It's a common collocation, a word partnership. Happily married emphasizes stability. It tells the listener, I'm settled. My life is good.
And to close his story, he tells us that his hobbies haven't changed.
No. He still enjoys reading and listening to music, the same things he loved as a quiet boy in Minnesota.
I like that. It shows that while his circumstances changed, his core personality stayed the same.
So let's look back at all the tools we've collected today from this one short story.
We have born and raised, a great way to say where your roots are.
We have the baby of the family for the youngest sibling.
We have siblings, the quick way to talk about brothers and sisters.
We discussed spoiled versus deprived.
And we learned about grade school, bachelor's, master's, and PhD, the ladder of education.
And of course, the idioms to learn the ropes and better late than never.
These aren't just vocabulary words. These are the pieces of a puzzle you can use to build your own story.
That is the goal. When you introduce yourself next time, try to go beyond just your name. Try using one of these phrases. I was raised in, or I am the baby of my family.
It adds color. It adds personality.
It makes you human.
Before we go, I want to come back to that one thought. Better late than never.
It's such an important lesson.
Maybe you, listening right now, feel like you're learning English slowly. Maybe you feel like you are learning the ropes, and it is difficult.
And that is okay. Think of the narrator. He took the long road. He was a professional student, but he finished.
If you have started something, a project, a degree, a language, and you feel slow, don't stop. Finishing slowly is still a victory.
Absolutely. Do not compare your speed to others. Just keep going. Better late than never.
That is a great place to end. Thank you for listening to this deep dive. We hope you feel a little more ready to tell your own story now.
Keep practicing those words.
Thank you for joining Englopod. Keep building your confidence, and we will see you next time.